Moving now to our career technical education update with Mrs. Schakat.
President Johnson, Vice President Ragland, members of the board, Dr. Wise, and Mr. Garside, thank you for having me this evening. And I'm very happy to see you, even though it's remotely. I'm happy to be in front of people. This has been a tough year, I think, just all of us being separated and so fragmented. So thank you for having me tonight. I wanted to start off just to kind of wrap up a little bit from our last year's, I think last May 11th we met, and I had a few things out there in the no man's land, not sure where things were going. So I wanted to start off tonight just to kind of wrap up some things from last year. I wanted just to start and let you know that we are not offering any new programs next year. We're holding our own for next year with the programs that we have. We have just finished our first round of recruiting. We do have a waiting list in 11 of our 17 programs. We have 3 additional programs that have over 14 students enrolled. And actually we have one that has 14 and the rest of them have anywhere from 18 to 21. And 24 or 25 is a full program. We are in the second round of applications right now. And so we are receiving applications every day. So just to kind of wrap back around where we were last year and trying to figure out how we were going to recruit and promote this year, we did all of this without any in-person events. We did a virtual tour. We did go out and speak to groups of students, but they were not able to come to the Career Academy to tour. So we're very thankful for the numbers of students that have enrolled in the programs and applied without all of that. Our senior only programs, the customer service that Ed was talking about is full. We have over 30 students, and like the medical interpreter program this year, we have students from all 4 high schools that have applied to our customer service program, the bilingual component. And so we're excited about that we've been able to get the word out and expand it out across the district. Our state tested nurse assistant summer program, we're happy to say will be on this summer, and we're full. And then our NCCER construction program is full for next year as well. Our fire academy, we currently have 16 applicants, and we're in the process right now of working out the details with our stakeholder team, Columbus State and our township fire departments, on the cost, the instructors, the location, and just finalizing all of those details. And then last year at this time, we were talking a little bit about our middle school courses, and we had rolled out 7 new middle school courses last year. And with COVID and the virtual school, we had to scale back, and we offered 2 middle school courses this year. But I'm happy to say next year we're going to be hitting it strong with 6. 2 of the courses, after we received some input from instructors and principals and students, we kind of combined 2 courses because of the standards overlapped. But I'm really excited to say that we're heading full force with our middle school courses next year. So that's a good thing. Last year when we met in May, we talked a lot about the credentials, because this is the time of year that our students typically sit for their credentialing exams, and most all of them were suspended and put on hold last year. We had 17 students in our senior program last year. 17 of them earned the NCCER core before we went out on the COVID shutdown. And I'm happy to announce that 11 of those 17 we were able to get a hold of, and they did return in November for some review days and some practice times. And 11 of those 17 were able to earn their NCCER carpentry credential. So they earned both the core and the carpentry. Our instructor, Mr. Busby at Westland, worked extra hard to get a hold of the students and provide some extra support on several Saturdays in November to those students. We had 11 students earn the FANUC tool operating and programming credential. This was the first time we offered it in the district, and we had to do some of those opportunities remotely and virtually, which was a challenge with technology. We had 3 students earn the CompTIA Cybersecurity Plus Security Plus credential, which, if you know anything about that, typically only 40% of adults that take this credential test earn it. And so we had 3 students last year. 16 students earned the IT fundamentals, which is also through CompTIA. 9 that earned their American Welding Society credential, And our instructor, Katie Gonzalez, this was her first time to offer this, and the first time since we've had the welding program at the Career Academy that we've had 9 students earn the credential. So that's exciting. We also had 43 students earn the STNA of our 2020 graduating class. So we were happy that those seniors last year, several of them when they were juniors earned it, and then we offered it in the summer program in 2 sessions. And then we had 11 of our cosmetology students earn the credential, which is about half of what we typically have. By the time we were able to circle back around and the state board was open, several of those students had decided to go a different direction. But I just wanted to kind of wrap around that. Just last year at this time, we were wondering how it would end up. And so this is how it ended up with those programs. So we can go to the next one. The credentials for where we currently are. I'm excited to say right now, early childhood has had 7 2020 grads that earned their child development associate credential. And if you know anything about that credential, it requires 4 different units, 120 hours of instruction, a portfolio, and 480 hours of direct instruction with a preschool child and preschool children in a classroom. This year, we have 12 students ready to sit for their credential exam, which is a miracle. If Brian Bowser's on this meeting, I'd like to give kudos to him. He really came and supported Career Tech and provided opportunities for our early childhood students to actually participate in field placement throughout our district in our kindergarten classrooms, because our preschool hours and classrooms were limited this year. And it has been a challenge this year for the students to get in front of preschool children, as you can imagine. But we have 12 students that are ready to sit for the credential this year, the most that we've ever had. And it all happened this year when things were kind of crazy. And our teacher, Tracy Holzbach, has done an amazing job. But I do thank the district for their support and all the teachers that came to the table and said, we'd love to host a student and support them. And so that's been a great thing. I'm also excited to say we have 46 current pre-nursing students who will test May, and this is supposed to be May 19th, 20th, and 21st. We have to go to Fairborn. All the local agencies are still shut down, but we are taking up 6 sessions and we have 46 students ready to sit for their STNA test. So I'm really excited about that. That is one of the components of entry into nursing school, is having your state tested nurse assisting license. So I'm excited about that. Our culinary arts students, we just ordered 55 ProStart tests. There's multiple levels of ProStart. So some students are going to be able to take 2 different sections, 2 or 3 different sections, and that's juniors and seniors. And we've been able to open the restaurant and provide some hours for students as well. Dental technologies has had, along with early childhood, dental's had one of the biggest shifts in their credential opportunities with COVID. The Commission on Dental Assisting, or the CODA, which is what we historically have offered to our students to become certified dental assistants, has closed with COVID. They closed a year ago and they have not opened, and they don't seem to have any timeline for when they're opening. They say maybe next month, but in the process, Nina Brown, our dental assisting instructor, and I have looked at NELDA, which is the National Entry-Level Dental Assisting Credential. And Nina Brown has taken time to go through that whole training program herself, and just this past week sat for that course and passed the credentialing exam herself. So now she can offer that license test to our students. So the first group of students we're going to offer it to right now are 2020 grads in dental who did not get a chance to sit for the dental assisting credential. That's really important because it's hard to work in that field without your credential and your license. So kudos to the teachers in every one of these programs. Automotive, electrical trades, and auto body are finishing strong. Almost every student, we're pretty close. We're in the testing right now. So we have a couple of tests that we need to retake, some that haven't taken yet, but we're looking at 75 to 90% of the students in those programs that will earn their credentials this year. So I'm really happy about that. One of the things I wanted just to touch base on a little bit tonight is Perkins. I know Ed mentioned their grants. As you know, Perkins is what funds a portion of career technical education. And Perkins was reauthorized a couple years ago for the first time in more than 12 years. And the focus of the current Perkins 5, is on equity, access, and student performance. Historically, for years, we would select as a district, we would select a goal that was in a pre-populated field, say this is what we're working on, which is what we did work on. The goal that we had for many years was adding technology opportunities for students, which we really did work on that. But the focus now is on a local needs assessment. So we're given data on our district, we're given strategies, and then we need to align all of our programs to labor market data. So that is a huge component that has been very different than what we've done in the past. So we look at the labor market, look at our current programs, we look at our local needs and our student population, and then we write goals that bridge that gap. One of the new measures for Perkins has been added is work-based learning. And you've probably heard that terminology when you're hearing about the new high school graduation requirements, because work-based learning can be a component of that, but it's also a component of Perkins and of career technical education. And so that's going to be a big part of what we do and how we grow that. We're working on that daily. Another change in Perkins is the definition of a concentrator. And what I mean by that term, when you look at our career tech report card and you look at this percentages and the numbers, that's all based on concentrators. And historically in Perkins 4, a concentrator was a student that completed 51% of the program. So if we had a student that completed their junior year, came back their senior year, and even took 4 or 5 days of the program as a senior, they considered that 51%, and we counted that student data, their technical skill attainment, their placement in our grade card. Now it's any student that's completed 1 or more courses. So that's a lot of students in Southwestern City Schools, because we offer electives at all 4 of our high schools, in addition to having a career academy where students are taking advantage of 4 courses in a program. So I just wanted to let you know that our numbers are going to look quite a bit different from our concentrator status, because the definition of what it means to be a career tech concentrator has changed. So, like I mentioned, work-based learning is really a key component to what we're doing. And we've always had in Southwestern, I mean, for as long as I've been here and prior to me coming to Southwestern, students went out on early placement, they participated in internships, but now there's some very specific guidelines on work-based learning. And one of the measures is 250 hours. So in order for a student to use this for graduation, if you're a student that's out of high school that does not participate in career tech, you can track that from freshman year all the way through 12th grade, 250 hours. You need to have an employer sign off and work with you on that. If you are a student in a career technical program, your 250 hours have to align to your career technical program, but they also have to align to standards. So it's no longer activity-based where students can go work, which typically our students did not, but our students have to identify the standard that they're working on while they're at work that aligns back to the curriculum that they're learning in their class. I attached the form, but we don't need to open that up today. But one thing that my department's worked on is trying to make it a little simpler for the student and for the teacher and for the employer, because an employer has to sign off on every one of these documents as well. So we pre-populated the form with the majority of entry-level standards that a student might be working on. The student then tracks their hours and identifies the standards based on the work they're doing that week or those 2 weeks, and then the employer signs off on it, noting how many hours they worked. So that you're going to see a lot of that information when you look at report cards, when you look at the career tech report card, when you look at the different measures in the district report card. And there's 6 different types of work-based learning. I won't get into that today, but there's 6 different scenarios and examples of what that means, but they all need to align to standards and have an employer business partner sign off on it and serve as the proctor / facilitator. Our quality program standards for career tech, and again, you'll see this on our report card, And there's 3 components: the technical skill attainment, which is our web exam. And I'm happy to say from our graduates last year, every program that we had, we met or exceeded the state standard for technical skill attainment. So every one of our career technical programs. And that's kudos to our teachers, our staff, and our students for working extra hard. So they did an amazing job, even in the midst of all the different learning environments that were provided them. Our post-program placement, this is where we have to follow up with our students 6 months after they graduate to determine if they're in the military, if they're working, or they're in college. Again, we've done very well in this. We're on the 92, 93% of our students placed in one of those. And then our work-based learning is that 3rd component for quality review. We currently have 50 students out on work-based learning with that definition, and 66 students out in internships. And as you can imagine, this one area has been a little more challenging. With some of our industries have been open, never closed, and students have had an easy time getting out. Some of our other industries have been a little harder for students to get out and work. So we're continually trying to build partnerships and have opportunities for our students to be out in work-based learning. The state measure is roughly 12% of our concentrators that they would like out working. And that's going to grow as Perkins moves forward. So eventually they're starting small, but really want to grow on that. So just wanted to explain that a little bit to you tonight. And then I wanted to end with some student success stories. Ed's much better at pictures than I am. I don't have pictures of the students, but I wanted to start off and just share one of our Project Search students. And this student was adopted, she and her siblings, by an amazing family in our district, and have just really worked with her building skills and the home. And then our school district has just come alongside her and built skills. And then the student had the opportunity to join our Project Search program. And she was offered a full-time job with Ohio Health in surgical sterilization at Riverside Hospital. So she's in the process. The last 2 weeks have been going through her orientation for the position, and will be starting here very soon. But an amazing opportunity, a career opportunity with full-time benefits and opportunity for growth in a department. And they actually liked her so much and felt she was such a good fit, and so excited to put her through all that, the job coaching and the partnership there. So we're really excited for our Project Search student. We also have a culinary arts student that has been working in the field, but through a partnership with our culinary and hospitality program, we had an opportunity to have Cameron Mitchell himself come speak to our students. And it was an amazing experience for the students and even for the adults. He shared the success of, how he started and where he is today. And one of our students was so impressed and just excited about the opportunity, applied and made a great connection with Cameron Mitchell, and has been hired to work at the Italian restaurant that's part of Cameron Mitchell full-time. Parents are thrilled. Just a good opportunity for a career for this young man to get in that industry. And then we currently have a multi-skilled health student that is doing a very unique partnership, working 1 week on and 1 week off at Nationwide Children's Hospital. This student was just inducted to our National Technical Honor Society. He's taking College Credit Plus courses, and the pharmacy tech position, the pharmacy department at Nationwide Children's, was so impressed with this student. They adjusted and provided for this opportunity, and they've never had that opportunity for a week on, week off, but they really were flexible so that they could have this student work with them. And these are just 3 small stories. I mean, they're big stories, but 3 stories out of a large number of stories we could tell about the opportunities in Southwestern City Schools for our students. And I just wanted to say thank you, like Ed said, thank you for the opportunities, for your support of career technical education. Thank you for providing the opportunity for me and for the Career Academy and for all the teachers out in all of our buildings for the middle school opportunity. We're just seeing a huge growth in students choosing this option for high school. And it's really our focus and our goal that students have a plan when they leave. And no better way to have a plan than take advantage of the amazing opportunities in Southwestern City Schools. So Thank you. I don't know if there's any other questions anyone might have.
I have one question just about our STNA program. I saw that it's full. Is there any ability or desire to expand that eventually? The reason I ask is that long-term care, as baby boomers continue to age, continues to be a growing profession, and one that there's not a lot of new folks entering that workforce. And COVID has really exposed, a lot of folks in a way that they left that profession, especially if they were high-risk individuals. So I'm just wondering what more we could do to help some of those folks get into those pre-nursing and STNA programs for that aging generation that's going to need care.
Well, thank you for the question. That's a great question. That's one of the reasons why we added the senior only program. So we have 24 students signed up this summer in addition to the 46. The 46 that are testing this next week are in our high school program, the 2-year program. So we did expand with the senior only program, but our challenge is our instructor. It's hard to find someone that is a nurse that meets all the criteria to actually be an instructor for an STNA program. And so we would be happy to expand it, but our teacher that teaches our 2-year program throughout the school year is teaching the summer program. And she doesn't have any more hours in her day or her summer to add any more, but that would be our challenge. So we could absolutely offer some other summer sections. And then we have no space at the Career Academy right now for any additional programs, but the summer option would be a great one, but we'd need to find another instructor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Schakat. I will say on a personal note, I missed seeing the search students this year.
I know. Well, if we are going to have our career passport for Project Search and Career Development, we're going to have that in person. So if you're available, the invitations are coming out here soon. We've combined those two since they're smaller groups and we have a large venue. So if you do want to come see them, then we'd love to have you at the passport ceremony.
Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing those invitations.
Okay, thank you.